So, you clicked a video entitled LCS Recap Behind the Scenes. You're probably wondering how an episode of LCS Recap is made. I'll try not to make it too boring. Hello, I am Ben Forbes, and I'm pretty much the only person who works on LCS Recap, and we'll break this down step by step. Step 1. Watch the games. So obviously, if you want to do a show like this, you're going to have to watch every single game. This sometimes involves adjusting your sleep schedule to fit with the time zones. I personally live in the UK, and so a lot of the North American games are shown about 9 hours behind. This usually isn't too much of a problem, except Super Week. Here's the book I use. Don't ask why I use squared paper, it's just a preference. Every timestamp is noted down along with important plays, and I'll refer to this a bit later. Step 2, download the VODs. So what I used to do was use Fraps, record the stream from my PC, and then I'd have the footage right away, but that was pretty unreliable as sometimes the stream would freeze or my internet would go out, and so I'd lose that part of the game. So if you want to get high quality stream footage, here's what you gotta do. Go to twitch.tv and find the video link of the footage you want, paste that into the box on twitchtools.com, and you'll get this. Twitch separates VODs into 30-minute chunks, and they either get uploaded straight after or about 15 minutes after each half hour because of the processing and whatever. So download all of these. Oh, and now is probably a good time to say that you'll need a lot of space to do this. Each 30 minutes is usually around 400 megabytes, and we're about to double that in the next step. Step 3, convert the footage. Now you've got a bunch of flash files that can't be edited in many video programs, so if you're using Sony Vegas, which I do, grab yourself FLV Extract. FLV Extract separates the flash file into an H.264 video stream and an audio stream. Now you've got them, but you want to put them back together into something that Vegas can read. You've got your video and you've got your audio, but those are both very raw files, so you need to repackage them into a new shell, and to do that you'll want a program called YAM, which puts them back together into an MP4 format. It's meant for DVD authoring or something like that. Drag your two split files into YAM, I've got 2 clips here for demonstration purposes, and click Properties on the H.264 file. Make sure your frame rate is set to 30 or you'll get desynchronization errors. Give your file a name, select the 2 streams you want to repackage, and then wait for it to do so. This can take a while, and you're going to have to do it separately for each 30-minute video. Step 4, editing. Cross-reference the sections with the time you've got written down and cut around each play. I have a couple of self-imposed rules when choosing where to start and end each clip. I should leave enough of a gap at the beginning with no action so I can talk over the top freely, and just as I finish talking, the big play should begin. Comfort champions here on the side of Gambit Gaming. We have Alexish on Twisted Fate, Diamond on Lee Sin, and Genja on Misfortune.
Yeah, they need to get away from this one as we see.
And at the end, I want to leave the caster's final thoughts of the play completed, so cutting the clip after they've finished their sentence is the best course of action.
We'll actually use the Blade of the Ruin King down towards Alex, but that won't help him out. Genja gets the kill.
And that's all.
And in near record time. However, there is one exception to that rule. Jat's casting is great, don't get me wrong, I really love Jat, but he makes it so damn hard to edit plays. Here's an example of Jat making it hard to cut the clip.
Both of them back away, and he's going to take the Wolves as well.
May as well get some counter jungling in after a 2-for-2 there, but honestly, they're just going blow for blow here in the jungle. Nuke Duck.
So I actually just cut the clip straight in the middle of one of Jat's sentences because he doesn't complete his thought. It's still great because it keeps the action really going along, but I have to keep the video a certain length, so it's just a personal thing, but you've got to find compromises with situations like that. Anyway, that's editing. I'll usually leave 1 second on the end of clips to crossfade them into the next one, and then I'll end up with something that looks like this. Step 5, graphics. Each video requires a minimum of 4 separate graphics. The LCS Recap logo at the beginning, which is easy enough to copy between videos, the opening title card, which I edit separately, and more on this in a second, the closing title card, which again can be copied, and the thumbnail image for YouTube. Let's move away from Vegas for a sec in favour of the mighty Photoshop. In Photoshop I create templates for the thumbnails, which are adapted from the template that Daryl from Playcaster sent me, linked to his channel right here. In essence, the graphics are usually a screenshot from League of Legends overlaid with red for Europe and blue for North America, and the font used is Bebas Neue, which you'll find in a lot of other places. It's a great font and really useful for YouTube thumbnails because it's bold, exciting, and still professional looking. So we'll whip up a title card, save it, drag it into Vegas, and boom, things are starting to take shape. Step 6, narration. So narration is done with the following equipment. I have a mic stand, an out-of-production Audio-Technica ATM33A condenser microphone, a Line 6 UX2 sound card, as well as a pop shield to prevent my P's and B's from making loud sounds on the recording. Not a huge difference perhaps, but it does add to the professionalism of the videos. I try to make sure the narration is easy to understand and doesn't step on the caster's points so I'm not directly copying them. Due to feedback when I started, I also try not to spoil the outcome of any plays. I try to include something a little bit humorous each episode because otherwise I might go mad. When the narration's in place at the beginning of each clip, I need to make sure the audio track isn't too loud, so I have a plugin called VoiceOver, which automatically fades down the track when I'm talking. This saves a lot of time, and with the sheer number of videos that get put onto LCS Recap, any time-saving techniques are definitely worth it. Step 7. Finishing touches. This is very video dependent, but the one that continues through every series so far is increasing the brightness and contrast by a small amount, as rendering an MP4 often produces a very dark video. Here's the difference.
Over to Skara, what a beautiful play. Nice arrow into his head though. And here we go, the bandage toss is going to land. There's the death sentence as well, which will be literal. And Edward picks that one up 3-1, but Crumb steals away the...
Small but effective. This is a 10% brightness increase and an 18% contrast boost for those of you making notes. Then finally, I'll add the music track. Usually these are from royalty-free music websites, but because at uni I graduated in music technology, a lot of my friends produce electronic music, so I get to give them a little bit of extra airtime, with their permission of course. Step 8. Rendering. So I render in 1080i, the same as my project settings, and I won't go into great detail here, but there are plenty of guides on YouTube that tell you how to get the best out of a Sony Vegas render. For a 5-minute video, this takes about 12 minutes, and for the longer videos like Super LCS Recap, this process can take up to an hour and a half. Step 9. Uploading. Those of you who have ever uploaded a video know what this is all about. I take the picks and bans from the game which I wrote down in the pad and put them into the description. I'll also put the names of the players in the description, so if someone wants to see SOAS on Shen, they can type SOAS, Shen, LCS Recap, and there's a good chance that you'll get some positive results. I upload the videos on the private setting because step 10, annotations. Adding the annotations at the end, like the subscribe button and the playlist thing, takes a few seconds, and plus this way I can make the video public when YouTube decides it wants to render it fully to make your experience the best it can be. So there you go, LCS Recap behind the scenes. Each episode from watching the game to watching the video can be anywhere from 1.5 hours if I'm feeling productive for a standard episode, or 8 to 10 hours for an episode of Super LCS Recap. Finally, I'll be properly announcing what's happening on this channel in a video which I'll upload in less than 24 hours. My name is Ben Forbes, and thank you very much for watching.